Hi guys, how are you all doing today? Uh, had rain all day yesterday, but today's a nice day. I mean, it's really been very pleasant. The sun is out, my solars are getting the sun, everything's working out great. Also, I have found an RV park. It is in Texas. I didn't want to go to Texas, but it is in Texas. It's not far from here. And it's $375 a month, and that's all utilities and all, so that's going to be good, especially for the winter. Um, but that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. Actually, today I wanted to talk about strange things that happened. Um, spirits, entities, things like that. Because I was thinking about when I was a child the other day and my first experience. Two real first experience. My first one, I was quite young, 3, 4 years old maybe. Um, about 4, I think. But anyway, I always had my imaginary friends. Don't ever tell your kids it's just an imaginary friends, because it may not be. And of course, that's what I was always told. Oh, it's just your imaginary friend. And I loved my imaginary friend. I mean, we had a lot of fun playing together and doing things together. She was a little girl, and she loved playing dolls with me. One day, my uncle, Al, and he's going to be my next subject matter, he came home from work, and I was in the living room, and my friend was sitting on the couch, and my uncle sat on top of her. I cried and I cried and I cried, and I'm screaming, "You're hurting my friend, you're hurting my friend, you're sitting on my friend." Well, they thought, oh my God, it's her imaginary friend, blah, 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 blah. She wasn't my imaginary friend. She was very real. To me, she was very, very real. Well, anyway, my imaginary friend left and never came back, and I figured he killed her. I always blamed him for it anyway. Several years later, about 2 years later, I think, I was about 6 at the time. My Uncle Al, same uncle that killed my friend, um, he was in an automobile accident, a serious automobile accident. I'm going to step back for a minute. My grandfather, my mother's father, had bought the house that I was born in and that he died in. And when my mother left Key West and we moved to Tampa, she sold the house. And it just happened to be that the lady that she sold the house to was a spiritualist. Now, all this I've learned later on in life, not all when I was young. But anyway, we moved on into Tampa, and that's where my uncle had the accident. He was in a coma for 11 days. Grandma was there by himself, by his side the whole time. That was her baby boy. He was, I think, 19 at the time when he passed away. But anyway, a few days before he passed away, I kept hearing, okay, we had the living room was here, then there's a wall and there's a hallway. Ooh, whoa, what was that? There was, I don't know what it was, but it came to me. Must have been a spider. Anyway, the living room was here, then there's walls here, and there's a hallway. Mama and my bedroom was in the front, Grandma was in the middle, and my uncle's was in the back. I would hear steps. And I'd tell Mama, Mama, there's somebody out there in the hallway. Mama would look out, and there wasn't nobody there. But Mama, I hear him. Well, she thought, there you go, your imagination. She always thought I had a great imagination. This went on for several days. Every day, the same thing. The day my uncle died, it stopped. Never heard it again. And I remember clearly, never heard it again. Never thought anything about it, because I was young. And about a year or so after my uncle died, Mama decided to move back to Key West. And she went to go visit the lady that bought the house that my grandfather had bought and my mother had sold. And they started talking. And the lady said, my mother told her, that because she asked about my Uncle Al, and my mother told her Alfonso died. He passed away. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. When did that happen? So my mother gave her the date, and I think it was Halloween night, if I'm not mistaken. But she says, oh my goodness. She says, a spirit came by here. And she demonstrated to my mother how the spirit was standing, how he had his hand on the door jamb and one on his hip, And she explained to my mother about the conversation that they had. And she said, he asked, well, where's the family? And she said, well, the family has moved to Tampa. It was just about that time when I started hearing the footsteps. The shuffling footstep, because there was a shuffle to it. And Mama came home and she started talking about it, and she said, and blah, 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 told me what the lady had said. By then I was 10, 11, 12, something like that, by the time she told me the story. Anyway, we went, and it was, I don't know, it was really weird because it all happened at that time. And my grandfather, I felt inside me, and so did my grandmother, that was my grandfather coming for his son. And his son passed away, and I guess my grandfather came and got him because we never heard it again. Anyway, that's one of my stories. I may have said it before, I don't know. But I was thinking a lot about that in the last couple of days, and I thought I'd relate it to you. Until later, though, my friends, may the Spirit guide you. Peace, love, hugs. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thank you all so much for watching. And to my new subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you.